Here comes Mr. Nobody walking down the...
Hello everybody. So about 4 years ago I made a video about the Joyo Vocal Lab pedal, and it has been my most popular video, and it's kind of funny, and it's been the most commented on, and recently it has gotten more comments. And so now if you don't know the Joyo Vocal Lab pedal, and why don't I see it on the channel anymore, I hated it. That's as far as it goes. I don't hate Joyo pedals. I've had people say, well, I have lots of Joyo pedals and I love them. Well, I do too. Let me just see if I can pull up a list of my Joyo pedals here. Just give me a sec. Yeah, I love my Joyo pedals too. And the one thing people don't seem to realize is I keep manuals. I don't get rid of any manual. I end up, if I can scan it, if I have to scan it, I'll even scan it. I have digital copies of all my manuals. So the Joyo pedals I own, or that I've had or have, I still have all these other ones. That was the only one I've ever sold. So I have the classic chorus, the vintage phase, dynamic compressor, voodoo octave, or the orthos, orthos selector, which is one I just got recently, analog delay, the wah wah, which is the auto wah pedal that I use all the time, the power supply. I have a Joyo 10 item power supply that I use, that I have as my non part of my board power supply, so that I can use it whenever I need to. I have the wireless microphone system. That's the one that it's XLR. You plug it into the two XLR ends, and you now have a wireless microphone out of a SF58. Love it. I use it all the time. Cab box that I have, that I use all the time. That one you always see whenever I'm doing anything where I don't want to use an amp. I have the cab box, and it's beautiful. Love these pedals. So those are the ones I have. I don't have the Vocal Lab anymore. And so a lot of people, I wouldn't say they're upset, but they always say, well, there's things that I wasn't doing. So I wasn't a fan of this pedal. Okay, I'm just being straight up and honest with you. I didn't like this pedal, but I do like Joyo pedals. And honestly, I kept this pedal. I sold it last year. The only reason I kept it for so long was it came with it had a USB-C on it, so you could hook up to your computer. And I was hoping, by all hope, that Joyo would do an upgrade on the firmware and say, okay, we realized we didn't do certain things correctly. Here's an upgrade. This will fix the problem. So now, what were my issues with the pedal? I have a Harmony Live 2, which I like. I like it a lot. It is a more expensive pedal. I got it for $80. But yeah, it's used, but the thing is, it's old. So I was hoping when I bought this pedal, when I bought the Joyo, with it being a newer pedal, because I think it just came out around when I bought it. So I was expecting something better. Instead, I got something which was equal to my Boss RPS 10, which is a pitch bender. So I was not impressed. That's what I'm getting at. And my RPS 10 is from the 80s. So I was not impressed. There's a lot of time and technology changes. So let me go through. I'm just kind of, the comments here, I've just kind of summarized what people have said, but I'm going to go through them anyways, and we're going to talk a little bit about them. So let's see. The singer was out of key, and that's why it sounded bad. Now, my issue wasn't the singing in key part. It was doing harmony against the singing. So whatever I was doing for singing, it was harmonizing with that. So if I wanted a fifth, it gave me a fifth. That was not the problem. The problem was it didn't sound better than my old pitch bender. That was the problem. Next on this one I loved was, this one was recent. The 1/4-inch connection on the back isn't for the guitar. It's an input for a compressor. Let me just, no, like I said, I always keep manuals. So let's look at the manual for a second here. Let me just pull this up. So here it is. So this is the thing he's talking about here, where it says instrument in, and they have a guitar on it. That's not a compressor. That's an instrument. It's not an insert in. It's an instrument. Now I know on the Tascam model series they put inst, and I thought oh, it must be for an insert. If you want to say you're using the insert, no, it's to say it's to change the level because you're using it for an instrument. So yes, that does not say insert. That's instrument, because if they wouldn't put a guitar there if they wanted for that. So I had to just I clarified to the guy. I said, well, if you look at the manual that comes with the product, this is what comes with the product. It has a guitar plugged in there. That's not an insert. So with that being said, let's move on. All right, let me go. I got to pull up my comments again. You aren't using it right. I always get this. Okay, I was using it as shown in the instructions. I just didn't care for it. That's what it comes down to. I also had somebody say, well, you're not singing in the key of C, you're singing in something else. It didn't matter where I put the key. It didn't do a good job, and I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the output. That's what I'm getting at. You know, the guy who bought it, I hope he's enjoying it. He asked me what I thought of it, and I said, I'm not a big fan. I said, that's mainly why I'm getting rid of it. And he's like, oh, well, he says, I'm going to give it a shot. So, okay. So that's fine. I am comparing an expensive pedal with a cheap pedal. Yes. Like I said, my Harmony Live 2 Plus or whatever it is, yes, it is a more expensive pedal, but it is a much older pedal. And so, you know, there is a technology difference that you expect to see after so much time. You expect that technology has improved and the pedal would be better. But it didn't sound, like I said at the beginning of this, it didn't sound any better than my 1980s pitch bender. So, you know, I just feel that it wasn't for me. And my favorite comment was, the Japanese market likes this sound. Okay. I don't. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I don't have the pedal anymore. It was one of the rare pedals that I have sold. I don't sell pedals very often. I just decided it was sitting collecting dust, and it was not cheap when I bought it. And I haven't looked up how much it is now, but it was not a cheap pedal. And so I just decided I don't want it. It's not worth keeping it around anymore. So I got rid of it. So I just wanted to update people. I will put a link to the original video in the description. I'll put a link somewhere along here. My hands are not going where I want them to. There we go. Somewhere along here you will see a link pop up. So yeah. So that's my video for today. I wanted to get that off my chest and to say thank you to everybody again for watching and subscribing. I'm sorry that I was not a fan of that Joyo pedal, and yes, I do have other Joyo pedals which I love to use, and I will be using more of them in the coming videos that I make when I record again. So I just needed to get this off my chest because there's a lot of people making comments about my original video. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.